everybody? Today it's your boy Comic Book Kid. I'm going to be talking about the recent Isaac Butterfield video. Not really recent, but yeah, recent enough. It still fits the time frame. So I know this is really a gaming video, but I'm having a bit of trouble with OBS recently, so I'm hoping the iPad Genshin Impact footage will suffice for now. I will work to figure that out soon, but I've got university and a whole bunch of shit going on. I'll figure it out. But anyway, so in case you wanted to know, Isaac Butterfield is a Australian YouTuber who does a lot of sort of commentary, more like comedic and quote takes on news events and media stuff like that. Your classic. I don't know. If you watch one of his videos, you know who he is. Similar to people like almost like Leafy, even if you remember him. Not really the point today. I just want to discuss his recent video on Star Wars, where he talks about, them including potentially, I want to emphasize that, potentially including a transgender character into the roster of the Star Wars canon. And honestly, personally, I think that'd be really interesting. But that's not really the topic of the video, so we will get to that when we get to that. I do encourage you, if you want to know, maybe check out his video, but I wouldn't. Anyway, let's get right into this, and let's go.
Right, everybody, it's time for a test. We ready for a test? I love tests. The question is, to all of you, and who can answer me first, what does Star Wars need to do to take their films, their franchise, to the next level? That's what I want to know. Is it more like amazingly choreographed fight scenes? No! Incredible adventures to the outer reaches of space? God, no! Unbelievable story arcs and characters that are totally out of this world? Now you're on to something.
It's actually crazy. I kind of agree with him at this point. Yeah, I feel like doing all those things and more story arcs would be great for the Star Wars universe. So, since we agree so far, let's see where he goes with this.
What Star Wars needs, kids? One of the oldest franchises and most successful franchises in all of film. What it needs is finally a transgender Jedi.
Actually, yeah, that would be pretty interesting, and a nice change in the status quo. Be very nice to see more people represented in the Star Wars universe. It is supposed to be accessible after all. It seems weird you make a whole video on this, seeing as it's not, you don't seem to see it as such a big deal. But I guess we'll have to see where it goes.
I know it's 2020 and stuff, and it's great, and I don't have a problem with it, but why?
Ah, I see. So this is where it's going to show people who are the naysayers, and they're going to be saying, where it's going to rebuke them, with the simple answer of, why not? Seeing all the benefits it could add. Let's see if it does that.
Did anyone actually ask for it? How dare you ask why, you cis white male piece of shit! Oh my god, you people make me absolute.
So yeah, obviously, Isaac doesn't actually offer any rebuttals and just presents everybody who thinks this way and genuinely wants this change as a screaming crazy person, instead of, addressing the fact that people would like the change for actual reasons, inclusion of the trans community, upping representation in a field where people are quite underrepresented. But obviously, I don't know what we expect from Isaac Butterfield.
Here's one for you. Lucasfilm reportedly wants to introduce a trans Jedi to the future Star Wars projects.
This is probably one of the most annoying things about this video, the fact that it's 8 minutes of screaming and ranting about what amounts to literally a discussion of a potential rumor that they're thinking about it, right? Literally nothing is set in stone. But I don't know, I guess as somebody used to watch Isaac Butterfield before I realized that making jokes about the Christchurch shooting wasn't funny. I don't know, I don't really know what I expected. But even this is bad for him.
This scene should have been completely different. Instead of Darth Vader carrying on about gender and telling Luke, who's gender non-binary, that he was his father, he should have definitely said, "I am your gender-neutral biological provider of sperm cells. Which women could also have sperm cells. You bigot." Yeah, this video is going to get a whole lot fucking weirder, so stick around.
No one in this discussion is at all asking for us to change the Star Wars canon just to accommodate a transgender Jedi, because you don't need to. Men who are established as men in the Star Wars universe can still stay men who are established in the Star Wars universe. Same with women. You don't need to change Darth Vader to be transgender. It doesn't fit his story arc, and it doesn't make any sense. It would be more insulting if they did that. All they're asking is just to add one character even. Hell, maybe you could add more, but just starting with one, who is himself or herself or themselves, a transgender character. Doesn't matter about what things were in the past. You don't need to change the past. You don't need to go back through history and change historical figures to be trans characters. You don't need Abraham Lincoln to be a woman to be inclusive to transgender people in real life. The same way, that doesn't invalidate the fact that transgenders still exist today and are important people and members in our society. There was an entire order, an army's worth of Jedi, just in the Old Republic. Surely one of them might have just been questioning their identity even. There were probably gay ones, there were probably asexual ones. You know, transgender Jedi really aren't that far out of the question of wide universe like this. Anyway, after this, he has a whole long ad about some drug that won't get you high or something like that. I wasn't really paying attention if it was an ad. But yeah, then gets back to the video.
I tweeted something the other day about the gender pronouns. People who use he, him, she, her, and they put it in their Twitter bio. I ended up in a little argument with this dude because he was talking shit about Joe Rogan. And I said anyone with pronouns in their fucking Twitter bio needs to be lolled at because they're dick/balls. Now, people freaked out about that. Are you transphobic? Yada yada. What I mean by that is this dude right here was talking shit about Joe Rogan. He is obviously a man. He's not trying to transition. He is a man.
I'm going to brush past this part. It's every conservative talking point the right uses. But basically he says we don't need pronouns because everyone knows and you're obviously a guy or a girl. However, some people pass better than others, and some people present feminine while identifying as male, and vice versa, as well as being non-binary, which can be a bit confusing for people who aren't aware. B, it just lets people know what they want to be called, which is fair, right? And C, Isaac, it's not about you, it's about normalizing the habits so that trans people can be more comfortable being open about their gender identity. And so that's harder to see who is trans, so people don't have to acknowledge the gender they were born as if it isn't who they are, and if they aren't comfortable with it. That period only matters so far as towards developing their personality. People don't put pronouns in their bio to seem PC or get pussy. I mean, okay, some people do, but fuck them. Wait, no, don't stop, that's what they want, that's what they...
And I see this all the time, particularly on Twitter. Someone will be talking shit about me. I go to their profile and it's got she, her, he, him, and I just go, ha 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 ha, what a fucking wanker.
I love to see conservatives call people snowflakes and they literally have no ability to argue against people who have he, him, or she, her, or they, them in their bio. Like, it literally makes you look like you have the mental capacity of a 6-year-old. I could literally do the same thing with you. I can see you have a massive fuck-off beard, so I can automatically assume your argument is dumb. Don't get me wrong, your argument is dumb, but it's dumb because you're an idiot, Isaac, not because of your beard.
The latest trilogy of films was multicultural and with a strong female lead, while Rogue One, a Star Wars story, featured no white male protagonists. Oh, and can I just say, seeing how there was no white male protagonists in that particular film, I just couldn't watch it, you know? I can't watch shows unless those people look exactly like me.
Firstly, yes, Disney has objectively increased representation, like it or not. This is just a fact. Rogue One having no white male leads, firstly, as a man and a Spaniard, white as they come. I don't really feel like anyone white noticed, really. While I don't feel it needed to be drawn attention to in this article, it's kind of weird that they did, in fact. I understand that in a series dominated by white men, in a culture dominated by white men in media, it's interesting and actually kind of progressive to have all the leads, be people of color or women. It's actually kind of a good thing. Just like white people dominate in most films, it stands to reason that some films don't need white dudes in them. I get that he's being sarcastic in this point, but it also prevents unfair strawman argument.
I can't even watch the Ned Kelly version that was done by Heath Ledger, even though he had a beard, but he's slightly shorter than me. Can't do it!
Nothing really important to note here. I just kind of think that it's funny when homophobes, celebrate actors like Heath Ledger, one of the main characters of the movie Brokeback Mountain. I don't think it's a big deal here, but I'm sure he hates that. And that makes me happy.
Do you know how fucking stupid that sounds? That's how you sound when you say, oh, we need more black people here, Asian people here, white people need to fuck off, we need to put some Hispanic people over there. Just watch the fucking film and pick the best actors for it.
For a subject matter that doesn't really matter to you, it seems to get you really angry. Like you said, it doesn't matter, just watch the film. Isn't it great to see more of the best actors for the film are being picked, finally? Because the borders of race and culture and sex in Hollywood are finally being slowly but surely taken down. I mean, yeah, sure, Hollywood is still a fucked up, disgusting cesspit of terrible people, but at least it's a multicultural, fucked up, disgusting cesspit of horrible people.
But even though Disney is attempting to make the Star Wars universe a diverse place, the series has struggled with LGBTQ plus inclusion. Yet, in a new rumour, it is believed Disney might be adding their first transgender Jedi. It's a fucking movie. Who gives a fuck if one of the characters is bisexual?
I forgot to mention, he just randomly goes on a skit about bisexuality for some reason. It doesn't really affect his overall argument, so I'm not really going to talk about it. But no, movies and media have a profound effect on the conscious zeitgeist in bringing attention to and normalizing the existence of transgender people. It doesn't matter to you, a straight white cis man, or even me, a bisexual white cis man, not directly at least, but to a young girl or boy, or closeted non-binary person, or gender non-conforming person, struggling to figure out what they really are, and seeing someone who goes through the same struggles and realizations as them, it could be a really important push to keep going, to keep trying to figure things out. It could help them learn something new about themselves they didn't really know, new terms, new ideologies, things like that. It could even be as simple as a small level of acceptance that they don't get in the real world. Isn't that important? Movies are supposed to give us something to connect to have films connect to us, we have characters we can connect to, not just emotionally, but physically as well, to go through the same struggles we do, to overcome them, to conquer them, so that we might learn to do the same thing.
That has no impact on the plot. Unless, I don't know, they're trying to blow up the fucking Death Star. I don't know nothing about Star Wars.
It was honestly this quote that got me pissed off enough to make a video. It's a series you don't even give a shit about, that you're using to peddle an anti-trans ideology. Forget the Star Wars diehards, you're using them and their nostalgia to disregard the progress in film. If Star Wars doesn't interest you, this shouldn't matter. So why make an 8-minute video to stoke the tensions between incels and transgender persons?
There was plenty of discussions about Star Wars universe first same-sex kiss in The Rise of Skywalker, which ended up happening in the background. That was disgusting. They should have been fucking in the foreground. That's what should have been happening.
The problem was that it felt like the first explicitly openly gay characters in Star Wars were being pushed to the background, like there was something to be hidden. It's not awful, to start at least, but it would have been better if they were up in the foreground with the rest of the Resistance. There's plenty to hate about The Rise of Skywalker, but gay people isn't one of those things. Then he does a shitty skit where he can't pronounce R2-D2, and it's just long and it's annoying, and it literally gives me a headache to listen to. So I'm just not even going to bother putting it in. If you really want to see it, go watch his video, but good luck to you there.
Even though Disney has attempted to push for inclusivity in the past within the Star Wars franchise, it has been hit or miss. Hopefully, this inclusion will be a way for Star Wars to show just how lovely and diverse the galaxy truly is. I have a question for you, to the trans people out there. I'm sure some of you are watching this. Does any of you even slightly give a fuck if a Jedi is transgender?
You only have to go so far as your own comment section to see people who would in fact love to see a transgender Jedi. Thousands of comments of people saying exactly that. But I've already said enough about representation in media. We've already established why it's important. It's not about directly people asking for it. People shouldn't have to ask for it at all. But there is a fact that people are asking for it. And even if they're not, why not include it? Why not up that representation? Who cares who's in a movie, like you said?
Disney doesn't give a shit. Star Wars don't give a shit. Lucasfilm don't give a shit. They are doing this just to virtue signal to advertisers, so they go, hang on, these guys are so inclusive, let's give them more money to advertise our products with their movie, and then everyone makes more money. But guess what? Nothing happens for the trans people. They get a fucking lightsaber dude walking around with a dick and balls, and possibly a vagina as well.
Everyone and their grandma knows that Disney and Lucasfilm only care insofar as they can make money, because capitalism is a black hole for creativity and innovation and representation. It doesn't change the fact that representation would still be important and mean a lot to a lot of people. Of course the company earns more money, but where you allude that no positives come for the trans community, the fact is quite the opposite. Again, a massive franchise like Star Wars, including trans people, would mean that more companies will include trans people in their media, which means more representation, which means more acceptance later down the line. It's not that hard to grasp, and I know I feel like a broken record, but it's hard not to when you're arguing against the guy who keeps making the same goddamn point every 16 seconds.
But these things don't happen for you. None of these things that happen in the films or in magazines happen for you. They happen for the people who are trying to promote their product. Don't forget.
It doesn't matter who it's for, because it has positive effects for the transgender community. To have that representation be there, it's a good thing. The argument that transgender inclusion is only bad because it makes shareholders money doesn't make any sense. Everything popular makes shareholders money. It's called living in capitalism. And however much you pretend to, you didn't make this video because you cared about transgender being exploited by capitalists. You're not concerned about that. You made this video with the title and everything involved because you only care that trans people are being put in Star Wars, a franchise you don't even care about, which then just means you're just mad that trans people are being included in anything at all, which isn't even the case. They're being considered. Why are you so mad about this? It's simple, really. Just don't use Star Wars to push your shitty transphobic views and divide the fan base. It's not hard to not be a cunt. Just to wrap things up, yeah, this is a weird video for me to make, but I don't know, I don't like people like this using stories and worlds I love to promote hateful bullshit. Star Wars isn't for everyone, I know that. And a transgender Jedi is already a divisive issue. It doesn't need beta conservative twats like discount creators here to stoke the flames any further. Anyway, that's gonna do it today. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment your thoughts, subscribe if you want to, change your mind later. You can go watch Isaac's video if you really think I've misrepresented him. I can tell you I haven't, but you know what? Maybe I did some places. I don't care. Fuck that guy. And hey, fuck capitalism.